this coming Friday marks International Epilepsy Day, which promotes awareness of what is one of the most common conditions affecting the brain. So for today's Health and Science segment, we ask, what are the latest treatments available and what should you do if somebody near you needs help when they're having an epileptic seizure? Julia Seeger, our health editor, is with me. And Julia, just start by telling us a bit more about how many people are affected by epilepsy.
Well, an estimated 50 million people across the world suffer from this disorder, with men more affected than women, and it's characterized, as you said, as by unpredictable seizures. Now, as you know, in the brain, you have neurons that are going to communicate with each other through chemical or electric signals, and it happens that sometimes the firing patterns of those neurons is going to change, and this can lead to many neurons at the same time generating electrical pulses, which you then experience as a seizure. Now, it can be actually localized. It can then move on to other areas of the brain or even be generalized. When we think of an epileptic seizure, we tend to think of what's called a tonic-clonic seizure. So this is when people actually fall to the floor, a person loses consciousness, and then the muscles stiffen, and you see these jerking movements that occur. But there are actually other types of seizures where the person doesn't even lose consciousness. Now, it happens usually when you're young, but it can also happen later on in life. For instance, after an accident or a stroke, for instance, that creates these brain lesions.
And what can be done when somebody is having an epileptic seizure?
Well, what's important to know is that you actually can't stop a seizure from happening. So you really need to provide support to the patient. The first thing to do is really to place them on their side and make sure that their airways are clear. Then you can also try to keep objects away from their mouths. Not try to hold them down too much or stop their movements, but try to secure their heads, for instance. And also try to time the seizure, because when it's more than 5 minutes, it's actually considered an emergency and you should call 911.
Talk to us a bit about what treatments are available.
So you do have many treatments available, like surgery or neurostimulation. There are also many drugs out there on the market, but they usually trigger side effects. And this is why more and more scientists are now looking into cannabis, medical cannabis, to treat seizures, especially in children. And there's the study that just came out saying that it could actually reduce by 86% the number of seizures in kids. So this is good to know. Now, it's important to understand that medical cannabis is actually a broad term. There are 400 chemical components that can be used for medical reasons. But when it comes to epileptic medication, it's only CBD that has been approved so far.
Now, another potential treatment could be something called a neural transplant. Tell us what that is.
Well, you're referring to an experiment that happened on a sea lion in California by the name of Cronut. It was found beached in San Luis Obispo County in California in 2017. And it was found beached because it was brain damaged because of a toxic algae that had created these seizures. Now, in 2020, surgeons actually decided to implant these healthy pig brain cells into Cronut's head. And now, 2 years later, we just heard back from Cronut. He actually has a Twitter account, and he's actually doing very well. He's cured. It doesn't have any epileptic seizures anymore. So this is actually quite incredible. It's gotten a second lease on life, if you will, because of this groundbreaking procedure. And really, scientists think that this could open new therapeutic ways to save humans as well.
That's really remarkable. Congratulations to Cronut. And
exactly.
Thanks very much, Julia Seeger.
Thank you.